Hi everyone. How's everyone doing? If you're on live, please um, give me a like or comment below. I'd love to know who all is on. Happy Monday. All right, so I wanted to hop on today and talk a little bit. Hi, Kim. I want to talk a little bit about vulnerability and expressing feelings. And I know this can be maybe an uncomfortable topic, it might seem intense, but I have found it to be really, really important. And I'll share a little bit about why, but then also why it's important that we have opportunities to open up and share our feelings in a healthy way, right? There's some people that are a total open book all the time, and others of us tend to be pretty reserved and may have some walls built up because there's some fear around expressing ourselves or being perceived a certain way. So as I share some of these tips and techniques, it is important that you use kind of your intuition when you are figuring out who you want to be open with, because you might not necessarily want to be totally open with the entire world, but maybe have a few select people that you can go to when you need to talk things out, or have some techniques that will help you in processing emotions. So my first question to you is, do you have people in your life that you can be vulnerable with without feeling judged? So this is a big thing because so often, especially in our Western world, we're taught from a very early age that extreme feelings are not okay. And that uncomfortable feelings like anger and frustration and sadness are unacceptable to display. And so we hear terms a lot of times like calm down, or don't overreact, or you're too much, or just sit there and be quiet, right? And when we hear these things, especially as children, we quickly learn that what we're feeling is not okay to be shown. And so we start to hold it in. So we learn to suppress our feelings, maybe put on a fake smile, all the while holding in these feelings that begin to fester and grow. And they can get stuck if they are not processed and released. So, over time, and especially if this goes on for years and years, and these emotions become trapped in the body, it can lead to physical, mental, and emotional illness and imbalances. And so we need to learn how to truly feel our feelings and be able to express our feelings, and maybe have tools to help release those feelings so those emotions can move along and not linger. Okay? Hi Jim, hi Rahul. So one of the things that we can all benefit from is having a safe space where we can express ourselves. And so we need people that we can share our feelings with without being made to feel guilty or shameful. And then we also need tools and techniques that will help release some of the heaviness that we feel with some of these, what we would call negative emotions, right? And the big thing to remember here is that feelings are neither good nor bad. We often label things like a good feeling or a bad feeling. Feelings are not good nor bad. They are simply information. So it's something that we can really tune into and explore. And so think about it for a second. When you open up to someone and express how you're feeling about something, and especially if the feeling is not good, right? Perhaps you're sharing something that you're sad about, or a situation that made you feel angry, or you're feeling frustrated about something. What are some of the worst responses that you would want to hear that would maybe cause you not to share anymore? So if someone told you that you shouldn't feel that way, right? That's not helpful. Maybe they told you, oh, well, look at how much you have to be grateful for, right? And while that is so true, and you all know I'm a big fan of gratitude journaling and affirmations, in that moment, it's often not the most helpful response. Or maybe they give you unsolicited advice. Like you just want someone to listen to you. And so often we want to be able to solve problems. So while the intention is good to help, maybe that's not the appropriate response that you wanted to hear. Or maybe they tell you that they totally understand how you feel, and then they go on to talk about themselves, right? So those are responses that may not be the most helpful in the moment. They may leave you feeling guilty, ashamed, selfish, or not heard. And so when we have experiences like that, that's another thing that leads us to just stop sharing and stop opening up, because it hasn't really worked out for us in the past. It just made us feel worse, right? So I am part of a beautiful inner circle of women, and we did a practice recently that I want to share with you guys because I thought it was so helpful, and it's just a great practice that you can implement into any and every relationship that is going to help improve your communication. It will help you be a better listener as well, because we can all improve, whether we are sharing or listening. There's always areas for improvement. And so in this exercise, we were assigned a partner, and we were invited to share our most vulnerable share. Okay, so that's big, like, what thing, you can even think about it yourself, like, what is your most vulnerable share, and to share that with someone that maybe you don't know super well, right? Or even share it with someone that you do know super well. That might be scary. And then the listener was invited to do only 3 things. The first one, this is just do the 3 things after fully listening. So the biggest thing here is that the listener listened the entire time and did not interrupt, okay? And then the 3 things that they were invited to do after fully listening was to witness and observe. So say afterwards, like, I witness you in this moment, and maybe say something along, what you witnessed, right? And then 2 is to connect. So really connect with what they're saying, which shows that you are listening. And so you would say, I connect with you when you said XYZ. I really connected with you when you said that you were feeling just sad and frustrated about this situation. Something like that. The thing you're not saying is like, I totally feel you, I get you, I relate, this happened to me, and we're just saying, I connect with you when you said this, okay? And then the 3rd thing is to acknowledge. And acknowledgement is all about edification. The last thing we want to do, again, is to make someone feel like they're being silly in their feelings, that their feelings aren't warranted, that they shouldn't feel that way. That's not helpful. So the acknowledgement piece is all about edification and building the other person up. I acknowledge you in your journey. I acknowledge your courage in this situation, right? And so those were the 3 things: witness, connect, and acknowledge. And we each had 5 minutes to share. And this was an interesting thing for me personally, because I had a really hard time taking those 5 minutes. I can talk for a while about a lot of different things, but when it comes to being really vulnerable and open, I'm like, 1 minute, I'm done, And so the 5 minutes was really difficult. My listener, like, I would stop and she'd be like, you got 2.5 minutes left. Anything else you want to say? And that was an opportunity for me to go deeper and be even more vulnerable. And what it helped me realize was that my initial share was not the root of the issue. And a lot of, like, the root of the issue that I was sharing actually started to unfold during my sharing. And I didn't even realize what it was until I was allowed to go deeper. Most of my life I held in negative emotions because I was scared of being judged. And so over the years, I built up many, many walls, and I didn't let people in, had a lot of just pretty surfaced relationships. And over the past few years, I've really learned how dangerous and detrimental that is and that it can be. And this past year especially, I've had the opportunities to shed a lot of layers through a lot of deep inner work. But for me, there's still more work to be done. I'm still learning, growing, and shedding. And, what I've found is that sometimes just talking it out with someone that you know and that you trust and that will truly listen to you, sometimes that's good enough. And when you talk it out and you get it out in the open, and someone listens to you and receives it and, doesn't judge it, that is really healing, okay? And sometimes after that you feel better, and that was enough for you to truly feel into that emotion and let it go, okay? Other times you may need other techniques like breath work or tapping, emotional freedom technique. That's a great way to process emotions. Dancing, just movement sometimes can really, really help. Affirmations are great. Sometimes in the moment, the affirmations and trying to feel grateful is really difficult because I truly feel like it's helpful to feel the uncomfortable emotion and let it process and pass. And if you feel like affirmations in that moment can be helpful, then by all means do it. Sometimes it's afterwards. You really start to incorporate the affirmations and start reframing perceptions, right? Meditation can be really helpful too. So those are a few tools I just wanted to offer up because it's something, the communication technique is something I just learned and I thought it was so, so helpful. And it can be just really beneficial to relationships and offering better communication, more helpful, healthy communication in situations like this, so we can support each other in a helpful way. And then if any of this resonates with you, please comment below and share what you are comfortable with sharing. And if there's a practice or a technique that you find to be helpful in these moments, that allows you to lean into a negative, in quotes, negative emotion, lean into it, feel it, and let it go. I'd love to know what really works for you and how you navigate those situations. So that is all for today. I hope it was beneficial to you. Please again share in the comments and look forward to talking to you guys again soon. Have a wonderful rest of your day. All right, bye.